Hi team, today I would like to talk about the use of the firewall zones in Linux. Linux has a firewall management tool called Firewalld. Firewalld has the concept of zones. If you want to learn more about them, check out the man page named firewalld.zones. A zone defines the level of trust for the network connections. A connection can only be part of one zone. A zone, however, can be used for many network connections. For example, you could have a zone for your internal network which allows DHCP connections, and another for your external network that does not allow any new incoming traffic. If an incoming packet matches the source address for your zone, then the zone's rules are applied. Included zones are drop, where incoming packets are dropped with no response; block, where incoming packets are blocked with an ICMP host prohibited response; external, for use on external network connections with masquerading enabled. In this case, you do not trust the other computers on the network. DMZ, for computers in the demilitarized zone that are publicly accessible with the limited access to internal computers. Public work home and internal for the area specified. You must trust the other computers on the network. And trusted, where all network connections are accepted. Zones make it really easy for adding rules, as you don't have to think about the specifics. Just add the rule to the zone in the question. If you don't specify the zone, the rules are added to the default zone. Now let's go to our terminal. To see our default zones, let's type in sudo firewall cmd space dash get default zone and hit enter. We see our default zone is public. To get a list of all the zones, let's type sudo firewall cmd space dash list dash all dash zone and hit enter. You can create your own zone as well. To do so, let's type in sudo firewall cmd permanent dash permanent space dash new dash zone equal coffee shop and hit enter. We see it's been successfully created. This creates a new zone that will survive a reboot. If you need to delete a zone, just replace the new zone with the delete zone. Now let's add a source address to our coffee shop zone. Let's type in sudo firewall cmd space dash add dash source equal 10.10.10.0/24 and let's hit enter. Success. If the incoming traffic matches this source address, then the rules in the zone will be applied. Now let's add a rule to the zone by specifying the name. Let's type in sudo firewall cmd space dash permanent space dash zone equal coffee shop space dash add dash service equal http and hit enter. Success. This will allow incoming HTTP traffic in the coffee shop zone, which will be all traffic coming from 10.10.10.0 network. Now let's reload our firewall rules. Type in sudo firewall cmd dash reload and hit enter. Success. If you don't want to specify the zone each time you make a change, you can just make it default. To do so, let's type in sudo firewall-cmd space set default -- set -default -zone equal coffee shop, and hit enter. And then let's verify it. Let's type sudo firewall cmd -get -default zone -zone, and let's hit enter, and we see it's indeed the coffee shop zone. Now anytime you add or remove rules, it will be to the default zone, which is now a coffee shop. Once again, remember to reload your firewall rules, or they will not be active. Let's type in sudo firewall cmd reload. Hit enter. To see more information on our new firewall zone, let's type in sudo firewall cmd d -list -all equal coffee shop, and hit enter. Sudo firewall -cmd space list all, I missed the zone -zone equal coffee shop, and hit enter. And we see all the rules are listed here. Okay, this is all that I have for this video. Thank you very much. Goodbye.